each of you to come out here and take the time to try to better yourself. So talk to you, man. My name is Richard Taylor. I'm from Goldsboro, North Carolina. I am an author. This is my book. It tells about my life. It's pretty much about the grace he was talking about living the type of life that he explained and how I was protected, even in the midst of my wrongs. I'm also a poet, a speaker, public activist, if you want to call it, journalism, even ventured into skit writing, playwriting. However, I'm also a 4-time felon. I have convictions for drugs, guns, 40, 50 other offenses, robberies, a whole lot of other things. I've been shot 2 separate times. One time, it was a multitude of times, 3 times when I was holding my daughter in my arms. She was only 3 months. I was able to walk away the next day. And that goes to the great that he was saying. I've been stabbed a few times. I've been in jails and prisons in 3 states and 7 cities. So, with that being said, if you guys could choose which life you could choose, by a show of hands, who would choose the first life I talked about? Being an author, a poet, a speaker. Okay. Now, who would choose the second life? Being shot, stabbed, drugs, guns. Who would choose that life? No one, right? And that's the same mindset that I had. I said I would never choose this life. But yet and still I found myself there. And there's a lot of influences that portray you to that, whether it's movies. I can reference movies that I used to watch, like Menace to Society, Boys in the Hood, Juice. They put that image of the bad guy on the screen and it looks really good. The bad guy gets all the girls, the bad guy gets all the money. Everybody respects the bad guy. Scarface, those movies like that. And that glamorized that life and it sold it to me. It sold, okay, if I gotta kill my brother, if I gotta sell drugs to this lady and take her money from her family, then that's what I do to be that man. But it didn't show me the consequences, of going to jail, going to prison. If you watch Menace to Society, at the end, Kane dies. You watch Juice, at the end, Bishop dies. If you watch Boys in the Hood, so it'll show you the glamour, as he said, but it's not going to show you the detriment. And so that's what I want you guys to realize. Like right now, I don't have a lot of money, as I did when I was selling drugs. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It was fun. It was exciting. A lot of people respected you. A lot of people, it felt good to give people money, and they'll be like, okay, well, I know I can call him. It felt good to take care of people. But yet and still, when you can't sleep at night, when you develop a cocaine habit, that you can't put the bag down. When I sold cocaine, I used cocaine. So every time someone would call me, I would open up the bag. And so when they just get that little bit and go, I'm still at home with the bag. Stand up 3 and 4 nights, heart racing. Getting so paranoid, I'm peeking out the windows, can't go to sleep. I get scared, so I grab my gun. Nobody's chasing after me, but I'm scared, so I sleep with my gun. And sooner or later, all of those fears, whatever's in your mind is going to come get you. Once I started thinking about changing and my conscience started eating me, then that's when the thing that I feared started to come. See, at first, I didn't care. I was just moving, and everything was going fast. But when I started to think about my life and what I was doing, even though I had this great apartment, even though I had these cars, even though I had a girl to come anytime I want to, at night when the smoke cleared, I still was alone. I still was battling some things that I knew were wrong. I was raised. Some of you some of you have maybe been born in a family where a mother was on drugs, or a father was on drugs, or your daddy hustled, or your uncle hustled. So that was the route that you saw. And so and I hate to say that's all people know, but I have certain friends that was all they know. Like I have a friend right now, all of his 4 brothers have been to prison because their father was one of the biggest drug dealers. So when coming up, their father actually handed them drugs to sell. So I can see where that mindset comes in, but yet and still, I chose that way. You know what I'm saying? Because it looked good to me. So, in essence, I was doing something wrong, and everybody has a sense of right or wrong. Everybody knows what's right or wrong. You know, we can sit and play and fool ourselves if we want to. But everyone knows what's right and wrong. And I knew that once I chose that route, that there were going to be certain consequences. And as those consequences started to happen, that's when I started to get on my knees. Now, even though I was drunk, I was high, I was, you know, had a box full of drugs under my bed, you know, so a closet full of drug money, I still was able to get on my knees and say, Lord, you know, I don't want to live like this no more. You know, even though, you know, it looks good on the outside, you know, people would probably want to be me at that time. But the inner turmoil, it's a scripture, you know, I'm not going to put my slide in because I don't have that much time, but it's a scripture that says, there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end thereof is death. And that's the life of the streets. It also says, as my man mentioned, beware of gain that takes away the soul of the owner thereof. You know, and when you're in the game, you have no soul. You know, if you can sell drugs to somebody who you see has 4 kids and they giving you their last money and say, I'm gonna owe you 20 tomorrow, and they got 4 hungry kids, you don't have a soul. And that person doesn't have a soul. Any woman who would try to sell me, a grown man, her 13-year-old daughter, and say, take her with you, just give me, you know, 20. That's no soul. Any man who can kill his best friend when they grow up from this high just because his best friend started making more money than him, that's no soul. You know, so without your soul, you're liable to do anything. And I've been to that point. You know, I've been sitting at home and don't even know why I want to just kill somebody. Everybody who calls me, I'm just fussing and fussing and fussing. Drugs are a demonic spirit. You know, there's spirits that come with those things. And if you're not careful, if you be around them long enough, they're going to get on you. And you're going to wonder, why? Why did I do that? I have a best friend, Michael Williams. We were 18. And we watched a lot of movies. All we talked about was gangsters. All we talked about was some of the local hustlers around here, some of the big movie star hustlers. He was so fascinated with it. 18, he got in an altercation. Actually, it wasn't even his altercation. But he took up for some guy. 2 weeks later, went out, killed him. You know, and he acted like it was nothing, because actually it was, because we had grew so immune to it that's the way we thought we were supposed to live. Long story short, he received a 16 to 20-year sentence. And that was 1996. He's slated to get out next year. It's my best friend. We've communicated through the whole time. He laments about the act. He said, if I could have that 2 seconds back, I would do it. He used to write me all the while and exhort me, Rick, what are you doing, man? You still out there? You still out there doing this? Right now he has maybe 5 or 6 of these books written. But the thing is, he had to go to prison to do it. Don't have to go to prison to fulfill your needs. I had to get shot to say, well, daggone, this is my second time to get shot, I almost died, and I got caught with drugs that was at the scene. I said, okay, I have to change. 2008, I sat down at my computer and started writing this book. I got discouraged. I said, forget it. I'm not writing this anymore. You know, I can't make any money off this. So I said, in 2011, I'm going back to Virginia. I'm going to get me some money. After I've been shot, after I told God I was never going to do it again, I said, I'm finna go get me some money. So that day was July 4th, 2011. I went up there. I had my pack. I was calling all of my people, telling them, I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Went around, made my little moves. One guy, I had a little bit left. One guy, he asked for something, and when I brought it to him, he didn't want all of it. He said, okay, well, Dad, I ain't have enough money. So I took that. We went to a party the same night. The same night I went up there. The after party, to get sober, I'm at the parking lot. You know, are you talking to a girl through the window of a car? Only thing I heard was somebody say, watch out, homeboy. And I looked around, but wasn't nobody there. So all of a sudden, I see somebody arguing. I start backing back. Gunshots were up. Gunshots were up. The girl I was talking to was shot. The guy beside me was shot. The window that I was talking out of got shot out. The guy I came with got shot. Me, being the person that I am, stayed with the guy that was shot, and I got caught with more drugs. I got caught with drugs, and I was sent to the Virginia Beach jail for a violation. But that instance right there was the last straw. When I had no way to get out of that jail, when I had to sit and pray, that's when I really learned how to pray. And just say, okay, I can't do it anymore. And the last straw was when my daughter, she was like maybe 2 at the time. She called me. Well, I would call her from the jail. And she asked me a question, said, Daddy, are you getting out of the jail today? And that just destroyed my whole heart. And I saw all of the hands that you guys raised that said about your kids. When your kids see what you're going to do, that's what they're going to do. If you guys got sons, they're going to follow your route. If you guys got daughters, they're going to look for men like you. So you got to realize whatever you do is going to affect the ones after you. It's going to affect your mother. It's going to affect your brother. It's going to affect those who care for you. It's going to affect the community. So all I'm asking you guys is to think. Don't have to do like I just met a guy on the bus in Richmond coming here last night, and I showed him my book. He had just did 13 years, and he had been out 2 months. But when I showed him my book, he just started walking behind me, telling me things and his bones. He had 10 books in his head that he knew word for word. I was amazed. I had to get his number, but that's the type of thing when you have that time to sit and think, you'll realize there are way more opportunities than just selling drugs. I go out here just like I used to sell 20s of cocaine, I sell my books for 20, 15. If they ain't got it. Just like, in anything, just like I can come here and speak my school that I go to, they pay me to speak up there and tell about my experiences. So there's a million ways to make money, fellas. It's a million ways to make money. But that's an easy way. That's the most easiest way to come. And it don't take brains. You know what I'm saying? It's easy and it's fun, but you got to think about the consequences. So I'm not going to, holler at me. I'm pretty sure you guys heard stuff like this before, but I'm just, I've been in your shoes. You at a pivotal point, 18. Like I said, at 18 when my man did that, I was riding right with him, feeling loyalty with him after he got out of jail because the other guy's friends were retaliating, and I'm right there in the mix of. I didn't want to, but I just felt loyalty to my friend. Now, I didn't look at him as a murderer. I looked at him as my friend. And so that's how you got to watch it also. Watch your peers that you hang around. Because even though you love them, they might not have your best interests at heart. Even though y'all came up from here, and y'all pretty much probably know. So y'all probably already experienced. Somebody get in trouble, they tell it on YouTube. And so I'm just asking y'all to think. I'm not a preacher, I'm not a saint. But yet still I got a heart for my young black brothers because there's too many of us in jail, there's too many of us killing each other, and we look all the same. And so ask yourself why? How can I kill you and you look just like me? So we came up in the same neighborhood. It makes no sense. So you got to ask yourself why. You got to look at the other factors that are pushing us toward here. Just like I said, the rap music. Any song you hear, it's all about killing the nigga. The nigga come around here, why? For what? The drug money? It's just senseless. So, so I can go on about this all day. So I'm gonna, hand this back over to Ms. Smith. I just said, think about it. And I'm gonna pass this around so y'all can just look at it and go through it and just see what can be done when you put your mind to something positive instead of, something negative. And I don't have to go to jail for selling that. I can sit and talk about, okay, I sell books. You can't sit and talk about you sell drugs or you sell guns or you bang unless you want, some problems. So, I appreciate y'all listening, man. I wish y'all the best.